So we want to cut this one in half, so we want 8.9 as our centre. This is for the landscape, so we want to turn it and cut it in half that way. So this is the portrait one. We scored straight down. We want to turn that over and we want to cut this one in half. So the measurements of this one is 26.7. So to get that in half, we will need 13.65, which I can only probably do 13.6. Hopefully that all will work out. I've got this on here because I've got the glare for my new kitchen light I have put in. It's super awesome, super bright, but it does give a bit of a shine. What we want to do, we have our two landscape ones, and I don't know if you can see it through the camera, they have the score marks down this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them so they're just slightly apart on the table, and we're going to get the one that landscape, we're going to just put it next to this one here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to mark off, there's a little score line here, you probably won't see that from the camera view, but we just want to mark on this portrait one, just pop a line there and pop a line here, because what we want to do is we just want to fill this section here with double-sided tape, or you could use glue. I'm going to be using double-sided tape, just so we don't go further past that section. So just all this here is where we're going to put double-sided tape. So when we're putting this together, we just want to leave just a small little gap there, just so that the cards, when they do bend over, they don't get caught up on the other piece of paper. And we will be lining these up, so we want to make them flush. So just making sure the tape is at the top and the bottom. So I'm just going to go ahead and peel off this section of tape here, because I'm only going to do one at a time. Because once you put down double-sided tape, yeah, it's very hard to adjust anything. So what I'm going to do is I've got my tape there, so I'm just going to line this up right on the corner and down on the side. And I'm just gonna just press that down there. So it should be nice and flush with this edge. If it's not, you can always just trim a little bit off, but try and be as precise as you can. And I'm going to do the same with this other side here. Just making sure there's just the tiniest little gap in between this piece of paper and that piece of paper, because when you want to fold it open, you don't want it hitting. So that's what it looks like on the other side. And I'll go ahead and I'll put the bottom section on. So I shall just remove these ones, making sure that the tape is going to be down the bottom of this piece of card. You can easily just turn it up that way and work with it up that way, but as long as the tape is up this end. Like that. And if it is sticking out a little bit at the top, we can just trim any excess over, because we still have to allow for that little gap. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure we can line that up nicely, just with that top. So I might just have to trim a little bit off, just a little bit off the top there. So we have room here to move the card. So what we're going to do next is we're just going to open it up, and you can probably see on this side there's a scoring line here. So what we want to do is have this side facing up, finding that score line from on the other side, and just really focusing on keeping that scored to that score line that we've done other side as well. And then we can really crease them up. So then your folder should look just like this. And on the other side, you can see the folds here. So we'll go through and we'll just really score those now that we've got them in the same spot. Because you don't want to fold it in a different spot, otherwise your card won't open up neatly. So far that shall open up nicely. And so also these 4 score lines here, we want to do the same with that, but we don't want to fold this part here. Just get your card like that and just open up that top part. And then we can just fold over this scored lines here, and the same up this end. So just lift it and fold it gently, and hopefully we have everything lined up as we've had it before. And then we can just really fold those ones. I've got a bone folder. You don't have to have a bone folder if you don't have one. You can have a back of a ruler or something flat. You can even use this if you've got a scoring board. You can even use this, use that end there. So this is all complete. All we need to do now is cut out our pictures. So we'll just move that aside for now. And I have my pictures here that I've printed out, so I'm going to have to cut them all out. I'll use my paper cutter because they're pretty much square. There's some nice owls there, and this is just another panel. So I'll go ahead and start cutting those out. This step is completely optional. You don't have to ink anything. I just like to just take that little bit of like brightness off the white. It's all about crafting. If you don't have any of these, please don't worry about it. Just use what you've got. And for these other square ones I've got, I'm just going to be using bark. So I'm not sure what happened when I printed out the owls. They seem to have printed out in a much larger size than I wanted, and I only just need the size to fit them here, so I'm going to have to sort of trim them up. I think I'll just trim them up there just to fit. Okay, I had to make a few minor adjustments with these ones that I printed out because they printed out in such a big size. I don't know how it did that, but I'd saved it. That was from a previous project, and I had to just recut those out to size. And all these extra little bits and pieces that I've cut off, I will keep those because you always can use those for lovely decorations on another project. So I'll put those aside. And we have all our pieces cut out, edges are stamped, and we are ready to glue everything onto our project. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off, we're going to be putting all of these big ones on first, because if you just fill up one page and then you go ahead and do the next page, what happens here is you'll put the two front panels on, and then you'll pop on these little ones in the corners, and then you'll add these ones. But by doing that, once you've turned this first page over, it actually has the spot for these to go. So always just go through and just pop these ones on first, and then go through and put the smaller ones on. So I think I might start off with, I'll always like to start off with this one here, so I'll do two here. I'll do the mouse and the little deer first, so I'll just go ahead and start gluing those on. I'm just using craft glue. This is blue glue, so it'll come out blue, but it will dry clear. So just make sure you get it in all the corners, just fill it in. Try not to get it stuck on there, onto the back of it. And try and get it as square as we can on there. Oops, I'll just move you guys across a bit. And you want to make sure that you just keep the card the right way up the whole time. Don't pick it up and turn it around and then flip it over and start doing a new whole panel, because it is very easy to get it mixed up, and then you'll have some of your panels that are upside down. So you want to then just flip it straight over and do the next one. Don't turn it over to that side and do it that way, because your pictures will end up coming up upside down as you're turning through. Okay, I might put the little echidna there, and I'll put the little rabbit on that one there. Once you've got everything cut out and stamped and everything, it doesn't really take that long to do, so this is a fairly quick project. So I've got some glue down the bottom, but that's okay, that'll dry clear. I just want to make sure when I do flip it over and that the other page isn't going to get stuck to it. And we'll try and line it up so they are in line up the top there. It's quite a very warm day today here, so everything should dry nice and quickly. And then we're going to turn it over and we're going to do these two panels. And I might put sort of badger, and I'm going to put the sleepy fox there. You can use double-sided tape if you want to, just make sure you get it right to the edges so it all sticks lovely. I'll just turn that over, and now we've got one more lot of panels to put on here. There. So far, this is what it looks like. So we'll go ahead and we'll put on those owls. I think I'll position these owls, one there, one there, one there, and one there. Okay, so now that I have added, this is what happens. Do not turn it over, because this is what happens. You have them upside down, that way up, then it becomes upside down. So what you want to do is always just have it the one way, this way. It's a little bit of a mystery one. So this is, we're going to put on these 4 square ones here. So I've got 2 mushrooms, gorgeous little squirrel making a coffee for everybody. I'll put a mushroom down there and the squirrel up the top. And I have found a smaller glue stick for these ones. This is a purple vanishing ones. So that's looking beautiful. So now we'll turn it over and we'll start. We've got 8 of these little panels to go into these 4 corners here, and also these 4 little panels here. So I'll go ahead and pop all those on. Okay, so this is the end of our little project. This was called my Sleepy Little Woodlands project. Never-ending folder. And this is the one I made the other day, but yesterday we did this beautiful bird one, watercolour birds. We just embellished it with our own little washi tape and just created our own little touch to the project, and it's turned out absolutely lovely. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, yeah, please give it a like, thumbs up, leave a comment if you've done one of these folders before, and please subscribe and share. So thank you very much, and I shall see you in the next video. Okay, bye for now.